All right, welcome. This is our coverage of the 10 Commandments from Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 13. Today is September 15th, 2020. This is the Hebrew Cafe, our final reading as a group in our Hebrew 102 course. So here we go. Let's get started. This is Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 to 2. It's the first of the 10 Commandments. Whoever would like to run at it and give it to us, that's you're ready, you're ready, willing, and able to take it, then please volunteer.
Well, I'll start.
You want to go, John?
Two reasons. I've missed, I think, probably all the other reading ones, so my spoken Hebrew is by far the worst. And secondly, the first verse looks pretty short compared to some of the longer ones.
Yeah, one of the Sabbath commandment is really long, so yeah.
Vayadaber Elohim et kol hadavarim ha'elech.
Okay. That's more. Okay, so just two corrections. This is O, and this isn't Cha, but just silent because it's H.
So call, and the second one,
but kol, hadvarim ha'ele, kol.
And the la el. So that last H, it's silent, is it?
Yeah, ha'ele. Ha'ele.
And the Lord said all these words.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a saying. The last word there, that's an infinitive.
Yeah, this is it's like an infinitive. Basically, it's just introducing the what's being said. Yeah, this is these, right? All these words. Okay. So, what words did the Lord say?
Ani ki Adonai Elohecha asher hotzetika me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeit avadim lo Adonai.
No.
Oh, right. Okay. Lo ihe.
No, yeah.
So what was that, Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like ye, yeah.
Yeah. Lekha Elohim Ahirim Al Hana.
Okay, the last one is Panai. Mm-hmm. This word here is like ani. Ani means I. Mm-hmm. And this one is anochi. Anochi.
So it means the same as ani, I believe. Mm-hmm. What is there a difference between them, or just?
I would venture that this is the older form, and that it was shortened to ani. Just like we know the form anachnu. Anachnu means we, right? So it's anachnu, like this. In some like in Aramaic and some texts, it's nachnu without the a, nachnu. In later Hebrew, we see also the form anu. Anu and anachnu are the same. So just like anachnu was shortening to anu, anochi shortened to ani.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're both perfectly valid. When we say the future of the word to be, it's yiyeh and yiyu. Yiyu is the plural. Yiyu. That's a big vav right there. Make it a smaller vav. So again, this word is kol, like it's the word all means kol. When it's not joined to the next word, it's like this with cholam, kol. They're the same pronunciation. And this word for these is ele, ha'ele. Okay.
So I am,
Mhm.
where'd it go? I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm. What is
from,
that word that you said brought you out?
you mean in terms of parsing?
Yeah, let's parse it.
Well, it's got a
First,
masculine singular suffix at the end.
yeah, yeah. So we'll put that way over here, 2ms. So we'll cut that off.
And I'll deliberately not look at my cheat sheet. Possibly a hoffel.
Well, it's. Do you know what the root would be? Like the root of the idea of coming out.
Oh, right. Okay.
To say I came out is yatsati. Yatsati. He came out yatsa. So that's a first yod. And what happens to the first yod is it becomes O in nifal, hifil, and hofal.
So that'd make this a hifil, probably.
Yeah, this is hifil. Okay, so we've got hifil. Is it perfect or imperfect, imperative, participle?
Looks in. I was about
Think
to
of what
say
you said.
looks imperfect, but
You said, I am the Lord your God who brought you out
so
or
it's got to be
led you out.
perfect.
It's perfect. If it were imperfect, and this is first person, it would start with aleph, because imperfect for first person starts with aleph. So otse,
Right, yeah.
otsi means I will bring you out. Otsiacha, this is I will bring you out. But otsi means I will bring out with aleph. Okay, so this is perfect. Okay. You feel perfect.
One thing that struck me in pretty well all the commandments and the suffix here, reading English Bibles, I'd always assumed the commandments were directed to you in the plural, but here they're all singular, consistently singular too.
That is something that I will want to address very thoroughly in the reading course. Like when we read the prophets and we read the Psalms, this question comes up a lot. There is an issue in Deuteronomy where they will have like 2 verses where it will say the singular, and then 3 verses that will use the plural, and then they'll go back to the singular, and it's very interesting. Like they can alternate between 2ms to 2mp and back and forth. They can do that quite a bit. The idea here, in my opinion, is that when he's giving the 10 Commandments, he's giving it to the idea of the people. And is a singular word representing a lot of people. So it's written in the singular, but it's speaking collectively to you as a people. So we got Hifil, perfect. What is the PGN, the person, gender, and number of the verb?
First person singular.
And the gender is common, right? Because it's masculine or feminine. So Hifil, perfect. First common singular. Then we're going to put plus a 2ms suffix. Okay, that's the cha, right? It's hidden there. I've erased it, but it's right there. Hotziacha, hotziticha. Ifil, perfect, first common singular with a second masculine singular suffix from the root yatsa, and it means I brought you out, right? Good. So we've got this. I brought you out, you said, out of the house of slaves. In Greek, they translate that, if I'm not mistaken, it's oiku. Oiku. This is an upsilon if you can't see. And douleas. From the house of slavery, not slaves, which is doulon, but douleas. Doulea is the abstract idea of slavery. It's kind of interesting. I think we do that in English too, from the house of slavery, where this plural noun, slaves, can stand for the abstract idea of slavery. Okay. And what did you close us out with here?
Brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery. You shall have, literally, there shall not be to you any other God apart from me.
Well, this is upon my face. Panim, face. Upon my face would be like before my face or in front of me. Okay, so you shall have no other gods in front of me. I'm not going to see these gods, and if God doesn't see them, they don't exist, right? What's odd here is that Yeh is singular and Elohim Acherim is plural. There's discord between or disagreement between the verb and the subject. In modern Hebrew, we would explain it saying that the idea of having and possession, because it came from like European verbs and European language, that this was taking an object in this, but that's not what's happening in the Bible. The Bible didn't have that idea of having an object here because Hebrew didn't have the verb have. It would be normal to say the future, you. But when you're speaking, it's really common just to use a present, just a singular verb like this, lo yeli, I won't have, and then as a second thought, just, the plural or even the feminine. It happens a lot in speech. that you'll use a masculine singular and then you'll give a feminine plural. Even though you should say tiyenali, tiyena, the future, tiyena. This means they will be in the feminine plural. But you will often just make it instead yeah, and you shouldn't be surprised by it, but it is grammatical discord. Like it is a disagreement right here. Okay, that is disagreement. The Bible doesn't always have perfect grammar, and that's okay, because it's a human expression. Okay.
Before we leave this page,
Mm-hmm.
one particular word here really caught my attention when I was reading it, avadim. Yep. On Sunday in an Anglican church, I listened to a sermon by a rabbi on basically the Passover crossing of the Red Sea, and he kept used a number of Hebrew words. One I don't remember now that I actually recognized, but this one came up, slavery, slaves, a number of times, and I didn't recognize the word, and then started reading this the next day. I thought, oh, I heard
There
that yesterday.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We have a common expression that we say in the during the Passover time. We say avadim hayinu. Avadim hayinu. This means we were slaves. Hayinu. Avadim hayinu. Yeah. I wanted to point out here that the meteg is because, remember our rule, we have that, we went over it again and again, and we said the near syllable lengthens, remember, and the distant syllable reduces. Remember that? We talked about it a lot whenever we talked about noun patterns. So if this rule is violated for whatever reason, if the distant syllable does not reduce, they mark it with meteg to say that this syllable is a full vowel, and we acknowledge that even though the accent is here. This is the near syllable, and that's the distant syllable. If it keeps a full vowel, we mark it with meteg. Okay, so like the article, if we have Adam, meaning man, okay, Adam, and we want the article is written with kamatz. And this is the stress, near and distant. We're going to mark kamatz with meteg. Okay, just to say that we understand that's a distant syllable, but it still maintains a full vowel. Okay, you're going to see that in the wine grain exercises. This is why I'm mentioning it, because it happens a lot. Look here, we have a meteg here because it's a long vowel, and this is the stress, this is near, this is distant. Okay, it's a full vowel that's not reduced. Okay, so you're going to see that a lot.
I wondered what that vertical line under the hay was, because normally see it with a kamatz.
Yeah, exactly.
And there it was by itself.
So we have ha'isha, this is the stress, near, distant, mark it with meteg. Okay, another example is the word heichal. Heichal means palace or temple. Okay, heichal. If we have the article, it's ha-eichal, and it's virtual doubling, and we mark it with meteg because it's a full vowel in the distant syllable, near, and stress. Okay. If we have chacham, like a wise man, if we want the wise man, we have here kamatz. This becomes he chacham. This is still a full vowel, mark it with meteg. Okay, I'm bringing this up because it comes up in the wine grain exercises that we're about to begin. Okay. All right, Ward, look at that. Let's tackle it little by little. I'm sure that I copied and pasted this onto the page, this vowel is actually different from what's in the printed Bible for whatever reason. Normally that's written with just a regular shva right there. In this word, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be this one, but for whatever reason, it's printed with just a simple shva. If you look in the Bible, it's very weird. It bothers me. This vowel bothers me. I don't know why it's written with simple shva, and it shouldn't be. I just noticed it this week while I was reading, and I'm like, what? I was like reading in the printed Bible. I'm like, why is that there? And then I started checking other print editions, and they're all the same. And I don't know how I copied this with Khataf Patach, because I don't think that that's what's printed online either, but I guess it is. All right, so here we go. Let's start right there.
Lo ta'aseh lehach fesel v'kol tibuna asher kol. Did I say kol? Kol timun chol v'chol timuna asher bashamayim mima'al ve'asher ba'aretz mitachach ve'asher mitachach. Mitahat. I thought I said that. Mitahat. Ve'asher b'mayim mitahat la'aretz. You want to do that part and then
something. So mitachat means underneath, and to say underneath something or below something, you say mitachat le. Mitachat le mashu, like mitachat la shulchan, underneath the table. Okay, so this one is underneath the earth, beneath the earth. Mitachat. Okay. You want to keep going, or you want to translate from the beginning?
Let's translate and then go. So, do not make for yourself idols. And this is then, or any likeness. That's how we get it, or all likeness.
That vav is or. That's nice.
Or all likenesses, which are, I'd say, the Shemayim in the heavens above.
This is like an image. We use it today for a picture. Like you take a picture of someone.
Yeah, my thing, it came up as a likeness, but whatever. Which are in the heavens above, or which in the earth beneath, or which in the waters beneath the earth.
Notice that this is the beginning of a word, and it does not have dagesh kal. Also this one, the dagesh, what do you call it? Lene. Lene is kal. It means the light dagesh with beged kefet words. Remember beged kefet letters? It's supposed to be like the rule that we learn in the beginning is that at the beginning of a word, beged kefet takes dagesh. That's the beginning of a word, and that's the beginning of a word. The reason it doesn't is because the word in front of it ends in a vowel, and they're closely related. If the two words are closely related, almost joined together, then the beged kefet does not take dagesh. Okay, you remember that? No. Okay. Good. So we're here. Sorry.
Lo tishta chevet lahem velo
tishtachave.
I don't.
That's the one that we talked about as one of the rare roots. The root is Ishtafel is the root, the stem, the binyan. The root of it is chava. So when you add tachave, it means bow down. Ishtachave, bow down. It's what is an important verse? This is an important verse. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. Lo tishtachave lahem velo to'ovdem. Oh, ta'ovdem, excuse me. You shall not bow down to them, and you shall not serve them. That's really, I think this is the most important one. But it comes up in arguments with Jehovah's Witnesses, actually, between Jehovah's Witnesses and everyone else in the Christian world, because the New Testament says that at points the disciples bowed down to Jesus, and Jehovah's Witnesses argue that we should say bow down and not worship, because the King James says they worshipped him. And they said, no, it's not bow down, it's not worship, it's bow down. And so there's a lot of argument about the concept of the word in Greek, proskuneo, and the word in Hebrew, lishtachavot. These two words lead to a lot of argument among religious factions. So this is an important one. You shall not, what does it mean? Does it mean bow down or does it mean worship? I think it means bow down. But,
Jason,
that makes sense.
In my head that this verb is the only one that appears in the if I can pronounce it. Ishtafel.
Mm-hmm. Before we had a lot of research into Ugaritic, there was a lot of debate about this word because it's weird. It's not a normal word for Hebrew. It doesn't follow any of the normal patterns. So even if you check the Hebrew Language Academy's website, they will tell you that the root is shin chet vav hey. That's what they think the root is, and that it's just a hit pa'el that has metathesis. It's through study of Ugaritic and comparative Semitics that they came to the determination that in Ugaritic there really is the hishtafel, if we say hishtafel, that this really exists with several verbs in Ugaritic, and it is the most likely explanation that this simply survived in Hebrew in only one word. And so there is, I mean, it's debated in academic papers still, and the Hebrew Language Academy, I guess, rejects that in favor of the more traditional position. But it is what it is. It's an odd word, and you'll just find it in a few forms in the Bible. So it's not too difficult or important, but it is argued. Okay. Ward, do you want to keep going?
So lo tishtahave lahem velo ta'avdem ki anohi Adonai Elohecha al kanav huked Ayon
Von.
Avot al Benaim.
This one is Avon.
Ta'av. I'm not sure where you are right now.
This one right here.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Avon.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's not a holum vav.
Right. You'll notice that it's kind
Avon.
of set up. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to make it bigger. Hold on. I'm trying to make it bigger. There we go. You'll notice that that the dot is offset to the left.
Oh, okay.
Most printers will offset the vav to the cholam to the left of the vav whenever it's vo. So this is a, vo.
Okay. Avon, avot al banim, al sheleshim ve'al riveim le shonetai.
Okay, so the word hate is lisno. Lisno. Not lishno, but lisno. It's on this side. Lisno. So lisno is to hate.
Lisno.
So this one is le. It's to, like with regard to or whatever. And then so, because there's a sin dot and an o. Leso.
Son.
I.
Sonai. Sonai.
So it's le, so, ne. Okay, this is a e, I. These are our
Sonai.
Le son I. This means son I is sonim. It's sonim. Sonim are people hating, haters. Sonim are haters. Okay? And the im is lost and it becomes I, those who hate me. The I means me. It's a participle in the kal. So leson I means to those who hate me. To those who hate me. To the ones who hate me.
They'll say chesed la'afim u'ochaviv lo shomre misotai.
Okay, and this one was from Ohev.
Leohevi. Leohevai. Leohevai.
Yeah, this is Ohavim, the ones who love. Ohavim, where the im ending is dropped again, and we've got I, meaning me. Ohavai, ones loving me. So le ohavai, the ones who love me. Notice again the full vowel in the distant syllable is marked with meteg. All right, so let's see.
So do not bow down to them. So do not bow down to them, and do not. That's serve. Serve them.
Or this
because
word actually, like to serve a god means to worship a god, right?
So do not serve them.
But notice that this syllable is closed. It's ta'ovdim. Ta'ov. This is o. Ta'ovdim.
Them. Because I, the Lord your God, El, and that's I, the Lord your God. Isn't this God again?
Yes, this
jealous,
is God.
A jealous God?
Yes,
I'm a jealous God. Poked, that's visiting upon, visiting iniquity. To the fathers.
The iniquity of the fathers. This is
Of the
construct.
fathers. Of the fathers on the children. This is for the third and the fourth years, generations.
Mm-hmm. Third generation, fourth generation, to whom? To
That's
the ones
years, isn't it?
to the ones who hate me.
Hate me. Okay.
Sonates hate. The ones who hate me. But
And making or giving kindness, graciousness, faithfulness, whatever. Le Alephaim. I don't remember that one.
Elef is 1,000.
For 1,000. For the thousands.
Yeah.
Those loving me.
Mm-hmm.
And to those keeping my commandments.
Yep, this is keepers of my commandments, right? The shomrei is the kal participle as well. Like loving me and keeping my commandments, keeping of my commandments. Okay? Right, so we've got, let's read through it again real quick. This is a long one. לא תעשה לך פסל וכל תמונה אשר בשמיים ממעל ואשר בארץ מתחת ואשר במים מתחת לארץ. לא תשתחווה להם ולא תעובדם. כי אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך אל קנה פוקד עוון אבות על בנים, על שלישים ועל רבעים לשונאי, ועושה חסד לאלפים, לאוהבי ולשומרי מצוותי. Okay, moving on. That's a long one. All right, what do you know about this one just by looking at it? It's got the name of God, right? John, you want to tackle this one? Did you read this one as well?
Yes.
I think you read all of them, right?
I've got about halfway through.
Okay.
Lotisha, a Shane Adonai, Eloheka, Lashav, Ki Lo Inakech.
We've got yeah,
Adonai.
Inakeh.
So where was this? Oh, there. Yana.
This is the Shva, Yanakeh.
Adonai, eight, Asher, Isha, eight, Shamo, Lashav.
Mm-hmm. The word lashav, just guess that means in vain, right? Lashav means without intention. Just notice that this letter here in the middle is not sheen.
Oh,
but seen. So Tisa and Isa.
So Lo Tisa.
Mm-hmm.
You.
Okay. If we had to parse these, Tisa and Isa. Okay, Tisa and Isa. These are kal, imperfect, Okay, imperfect. The one, Tisa, is second masculine singular, and Yisa is third masculine singular. They don't have any suffix, and they come from Nasa. Okay, Nasa means to carry or to lift. Okay, to take up. Okay, so what does it say for us?
So you shall not take, lift, the name of the Lord your God in vain.
Mm-hmm.
For I, the Lord, will not.
Okay, this is a verb also.
Yeah.
It's a verb also. How would you think, how would you guess to parse this one?
Looks first singular.
Well, let's start on this side with the binyan.
Probably a call.
Well, there are some signs on it that tell us otherwise.
Oh, right. There's
Remember that there are.
the dagesh in the middle of the cough.
Mm-hmm.
So possibly a piel.
Well, the ones that have the dagesh in the middle are the PL, Pual, and Hitpile, right? So this is PL, right? Right? Is it past or is it perfect, imperfect? What do you think?
Looks imperfect.
It is imperfect, indeed. Okay. So it's a prefix tense. What does the prefix tell us?
Third. I've lost it.
It's third, yeah, third. Masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Singular, plural?
Singular.
This will tell us on the end. Singular. Okay, if it were feminine, it would be te, nake. If it were plural, it would be yenaku. There's the ku instead of the e. Okay, PL, imperfect, third masculine singular. Is there a suffix?
No.
Nope. And the root, if you had to guess, would be nun, kuf. We're going to say hey, even though really the root is nun, kuf, yod, because third hey are really third yod, or third vav, but we're going to say third yod. The word naki as an adjective, naki, means clean or innocent. Okay, so the PL means declare innocent. He will declare innocent, or he will, what's the word if somebody is on trial and you declare them innocent? What is that word? To acquit.
Acquit, found innocent. So this is shifted. So this is Adonai speaking in the first person, but here it's shifted into the third person.
Good point. Where he starts out saying, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall not have other gods before me, right? And the second verse was, you shall not make for yourself any idol, blah, 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 hating those who hate me, those who love me, those who keep my commandments, first person. Then suddenly, third person. Don't take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold innocent the one who takes his name in vain. Third person, his name. He will reckon innocent, or he will account them as innocent. Interesting point. So again, just like we see a lot of times a shift back and forth between 2ms and 2mp, here we see a shift between 1cs and 3ms, where I do it to he does it. These things, I would say, are almost inexplicable, but we will see how they are important in certain verses in the prophets whenever we get to our reading course. Good. So again, you got to there. We got stuck on that word. Go ahead and translate through.
You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain,
Mm-hmm.
for the Lord will not hold guiltless, will not hold innocent those who take his name in vain.
Yeah, but those who, it's him who, it's the singular.
Oh, it's singular, he.
All right. Notice this expression, the Lord your God, Adonai Elohecha. It's very, 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 very common. Very common. The Lord your God happens all the time. Of course, it could say the Lord our God, and that would be Eloheinu. Eloheinu is our God, okay? Or it could say the Lord your God, in the plural, and it would be Elohechem. Elohechem. Elohechem, your God, plural. Okay, so it will always be Adonai, and then it would be Elohecha, Eloheinu, Elohechem. These are the most common. Could say Elohai, my God, Adonai Elohai, the Lord my God. Okay, we've gone over the endings. So, there we are. The commandment about the Sabbath. This commandment is different between the 10 commandments are in Exodus 20, but they're also in Deuteronomy chapter 5. In Deuteronomy chapter 5, instead of saying Zachor, it says Shamor. Shamor. So one says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, and the other says, observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Okay. So read us through as far as you want to go, and then stop and, yeah. Wait, or Ward, excuse me. Wow, my eyes are not working. My phone's not working.
Zachor et Yom HaShabbat le Kadesho.
This
Sheshet Yom.
Zachor, not Zachor, but Zachor.
Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lekadesho. Sheshim Yamim Te'ab.
Not 60, not 16, but
Sheshet.
Sheshet. This is repeated down here as well. Sheshet Yamim.
Yeah. Sheshet Yamin. Sheshet Yamin Te'abod. Ve'asit Kol Mila Ve'asita. Right. Kol Mila Kotem
This aleph,
Kotena
ignore the aleph. The aleph is quiescent, so you ignore it.
Lachtehe Lechtaha Melachtaha
Melachtecha.
Melachtecha Yom Hoshabi'i Shabbat
Ashvi'i.
Ashbi'i, right. Shabbat Lai
Well, remember, this isn't the
Laiba
word. It's to be read
Lai
as
Adonai. Yeah, Lai Adonai. La Adonai Elohecha Lo Aase Kol Milachah.
Yeah, so this is the word with the suffix melachtecha, and this is the word by itself melacha.
Ata. U Benecha U Betecha
And check this one again. Vincha.
U Benecha.
No, there's
Is that right? U Benecha.
no just vin.
Binha. U Binha. U Binha. U Bitecha. Avdecha.
Avdecha.
Avdecha. Ve Amarha. Ve U Behemtecha.
Wow. Uvehemtecha.
Ve Gerhach. Asher Bi She'arecha. Take a break there for a minute.
That was the last word in the Shema, remember?
Yep, in your gates. So remember the day, the Sabbath day, and set it apart.
And this is a construct chain, right? It's the day of the Sabbath. The Sabbath day is the day of the Sabbath.
And set it apart.
Make it holy.
6 days. So it's 6 days. I would say it was made.
No, it's not passive. Let's break it down.
Oh, 6 days he worked.
No,
That's
he
work.
Is avad. Avad is he worked, he labored. Avad. So what is if we parse this?
6 days he worked.
Is this kal,
and
fal, piel?
He made.
What do we have here? Let's parse it.
Are we there? Us. That's work, right? You for 6 days you work.
Because this is what is it? Kal,
so
piel, fal.
6 days you work, and
let's parse it.
And you make all your, you.
Well, before we move, let's not move on yet. Let's not move on. Let's parse this word.
Okay.
Is it Kal, Piel, Pual, Nifal, Hifil, Hopal, or Hipal?
I'm saying that's call.
That is Kal, and it's the
Perfect.
it's
No, that's
first
call
double, right?
imperfect. Imperfect.
Imperfect, yes.
And it's a second person masculine singular.
Yes. From the root
Avad, to work.
avad. Is there an object suffix?
No.
No. Okay. And so if it's Kal, imperfect, second masculine singular, how would you translate
6
it?
days you shall work.
Right. You
Or you
singular
will work.
will or shall work. Okay. 6
Jason,
days you shall work.
this verb raises something that struck me with, and I forgot to mention earlier. We've got all these commandments and orders, but I don't think a single one we've come across with the imperative. They're all phrased as imperfects or
Yeah.
is
Or infinitive absolute.
yeah, is that something unique to here, or is that more common
No,
elsewhere too?
it isn't. In the commandments, there are 365 commandments. They're called Tariag Amitzvot. 365 is the word Tariag in Hebrew. Tariag. Because Taf is 400. No, Tariag. 365 in the negative. Sorry, 613. Wow, I'm losing my mind right now. So this is 400 and 200 together is 600. Okay. Yod is 10. Gimel is 3. So 613. Taryag. That's what we call them. Taryag Amitzvot, the 613 commandments. Most of the commandments are going to be in the imperfect, especially the negative. But we say that there are two types of commandments. There are mitzvot aseh. Aseh means do as an imperative. Aseh. And there are mitzvot lo ta'aseh. Lo ta'aseh means you shall not do. Are we losing Ward? What's going on? Ward, are you there?
Back.
You popped out for a second.
Well, until they show up and fix my internet, it's just going to happen.
Okay. So aseh is imperative do, and this is the lo ta'aseh. It's the negative, used as a general prohibition, not saying don't do it right now, but don't do it like ever generally. So it's going to show out a lot that we're going to have the future for the imperative. Most of them are going to be the imperative, most of the commandments in the Torah, but a lot of them are going to be future. I just talked about this today with a group that I'm reading with. We're reading the Greek New Testament, and we came across the commandment, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, and it uses the future tense in Greek. And it's not normal in Greek to use the future tense for an imperative, but in Hebrew it is pretty common. And it's generally considered more polite, honestly. If you tell somebody aseyetse, it's like really rough. But if you say ta'aseyetse, it's like would you do it? It's almost would you do it, but it's more polite than the normal imperative. But Hebrew uses the future a lot for in place of an imperative. Okay.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave, so I'll try watching the last part of this on the video. And on Thursday, it's strictly review, is it?
Yeah, strictly review.
Okay, thank you then.
So we'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Oh, right. So we were. Sheshet yamim ta'avod, you shall work. And this is vav consecutive.
And that's the Vav consecutive,
With perfect.
consecutive perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me, Jason?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So Vav consecutive, but that's a seat. So that's like a command, isn't it? Comparative?
If this is the command here, then the vav consecutive is going to continue the sentence. So you shall work and you shall do. Vasita. Vasita.
Yeah. You shall do all of your work.
Vasita. You shall do all of your work. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Hashemayim, Vayom Hashemayim, and 7 days, Shabbat,
I think
Shabbat,
we skipped somewhere.
Vayom Hashamim Shabbat.
I was hearing Shamayim.
And
This is
day 7 is Sabbath.
Are you cutting out?
Shabbat to Adonai,
Mm-hmm.
Elohecha, your God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then lo te'aset, so you shall not do any of your work. You shall not work.
Mm-hmm. Lo ta'aseh chol melacha, you shall not do any work. And then it takes that you and it says, oh, okay, not just you, but you and a lot of other people and even, okay. Oh, we lost you. You there?
Yeah. You know, one of my other daughters came up to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got about 8 other computers now on the line. So we're like pretty much exhausting our bandwidth here.
Yeah. It happens over here too. We're doing a Greek course in the morning, tomorrow morning. And me and my roommate are both in the course. And so we're both drawing the internet from different places in the house and it's not very stable. So we've got ata, uvincha.
Where are we? The seventh day is Shabbat to, where are we at?
Mm-hmm. Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work. You said this already.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so we're here.
And the 7th day is point with your finger where you think I am. Ata. You. So you shall not do any work. And your sons and your daughters.
But it's singular, not sons, because that's banecha. This is bincha.
Banecha.
It's one son.
Oh, so that's your son or your daughter,
Mm-hmm.
your servant,
Mm-hmm.
or your female servant, maid servant.
Mm-hmm. All of these are singular, right?
And your
this is behema.
your livestock, or your sojourner.
Burden. beast of burden, your beast.
Lehemor, it's donkey, isn't it? The male donkey.
This is behema. Behema.
Behema? Behema. So
It's a beast of burden.
your beast or a sojourner that is in your gates.
Yeah.
Kishevet,
Not shevet.
Yamim,
Not shevet.
Shevet.
Sheshet.
Sheshet. Okay. Ki
This is
Sheshet,
Shesh. Shesh is 6. Sheshet.
Sheshet, Yamim, Asa, Adonai et Hashemayim, ve'et haaretz, et hayom, ve'et kol asher bach, bam,
Bam.
va'yanav,
Vanyanach.
va'yana, va'yana,
Yanach.
va'yom,
Okay, so this one is right by Yom, and this one is Hayam.
hayam, the sea,
Yam.
hayam, et hayam, va'yom, hashbi'i,
Shvi'i.
al kain, berach, Adonai et yom hashavat ve yikad shehu.
Vayikadeshehu.
Kadeshehu.
So Vayanach, he rested. Vayanach.
Okay. We're because in the 6 days Adonai made the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that is in it.
In them. The Bam.
In them.
Them here is the sky, the earth, and sea.
Yanach,
Yanach.
that I don't know.
Because Nuach, La Nuach is to rest.
He rested
Like Noach.
on the 7th day. From all.
He rested on the 7th day.
No.
Therefore,
Of Kain. That's therefore.
Alken.
Therefore, berech. It is to
What
that
did
to be
God
blessed.
do to the 7th day? What did God do to the 7th day? He blessed it. He blessed
Barach
the Sabbath day.
Adonai et the Yom day. Plus the Sabbath day. And yik. This word I don't know. Yikadech.
Kadesh, he made holy. He sanctified.
Kadesh. He made it holy.
Yeah. So from the beginning, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat. Lekadesho. Sheshet Yamim Ta'avod Ve'asita Kol Melachtecha Ve'yom HaShvi'i Shabbat L'Adonai Elohecha. Shabbat L'Adonai Elohecha. Lo ta'aseh chol melacha. Okay, then we have this string of people. Ata uvincha uvitecha avdecha ve'amatecha uvehemtecha vegercha asher bish'arecha ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz et hayam ve'et kol asher bam vayanach bayom hashvi'i al ken berach Adonai et yom HaShabbat vayekadeshehu. Okay, I think we got it. Next, it's shorter. Kabed et avicha. Avicha is from Av, father. Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. Imecha is from Em, mother. Em, Av. Lema'an, so that. So that. Lema'an will be followed by a future, so that something will happen. Lema'an ya'arichun will be lengthened. It's hifil, but sometimes the hifil takes on a sense of being done. Like shamen means fat. Shamen means fat. Hishmanti means I got fat. It's hifil. Hishmanti means I got fat, like I put on weight. In this case, Yarichun Yamecha means you will have a long life. Remember we said last week that La'arich Yamim means to have a long life, to extend the days. So your days will be extended. You will have a long life. Al ha'adama, upon the land. Asher Adonai Elohecha, which is the Lord your God. Noten lach. Lach is the pausal form. It's the pausal form for lecha, meaning to you. So you shall have a long time. Honor your father and mother so that your days may be lengthened upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. All right. In the New Testament, they say that it's the only commandment with promise. And what that means is that it gives you a commandment. You honor your father and mother. This is the imperative. And then it offers you something in exchange. That if you honor your father and mother, then your life will be long. So it's the only commandment with promise of the 10 Commandments. From in verse 12, we have actually 3 or 4 different commandments, numbers 6 to 9. Lo tirtzach. Ratzach means murder. Don't murder. Lo tina'af. Na'af or no'ef. No'ef is committing adultery. Lo tina'af. Don't commit adultery. Lo tignov. Ganav. Stealing. Don't steal. Lo tignov. Okay. So far this is ratzach. Ratzach, murder. Na'af, committed adultery. And ganav, stole. So don't murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal. And this is the word la'anot, ana, vaya'an Moshe, he answered. Vaya'an, and he answered. So do not answer against your neighbor, bereacha. Lo ta'aneh vereacha ed Shaker. Shaker is a lie. Sheker. It's in pause. It's the word sheker in pause. So falsehood, lie. Eid sheker or eid shaker in this context means a lying witness. Okay, do not answer against your neighbor a lying witness. In other words, don't give false witness against your neighbor. Okay? Make sense?
Yep.
Questions? All right, so we're on commandment number 10. All right, that's the verb, chamad. It's the root of the word Muhammad.
Really?
And chamad. We use it today to mean chamud. Chamud means like a sweet person, chamud. We use it as nechmad. Nechmad means nice. Excuse me. Nechmad is nice. Like if somebody is nice, hu mamash nechmad, hu nechmad. Okay, let's see other verb. That's it. So in this case, chamad means coveted, like wanted something that belongs to someone else. It's because you think that it's a nice thing. You look at it and you say, well, that's really nice. I want it. Okay, so don't desire the things that belong to your neighbor. So do you want to read this one?
Lo tachmod bet lo tachmod bet re'echa.
Yeah, what's beit
Lo.
re'echa?
That's the house of your neighbor.
Yeah, so don't covet your neighbor's house. Okay.
Lo tachmod eshet
Eshet.
re'echa, your neighbor's wife.
Don't covet your neighbor's wife.
U
Ze.
Ve'avdo, or the slave servant. Ve'emato, or female servant, maid servant.
Ve'amato.
Ve'emato, ve'shoro, ve'hamoro, ve'kol asher le're'echa.
V'chol asher le'echa.
Ve'shoro. That I don't remember.
Shor. This is shor.
Oh, the oxen, a bull.
Yeah, it's in Aramaic it's tov, and it's related directly to the Greek word tauros, which is Taurus.
Bull.
So Taurus is tall in Aramaic. That the shin and the taf interplay between Aramaic and Hebrew, so that in Hebrew shalosh is 3. In Aramaic it's tlat. Tlat is 3, where the shin and the taf play out. So shor is tall, and tall is Taurus.
Anyway, the bull or the donkey and all that of your neighbor.
Yeah, everything that belongs to your neighbor. Okay, great. That's the 10 Commandments. In the we call the 10 Commandments. We have a few names. One of them is Shnei Luchot Habrit, because this is a table. We say that Moses brought down the tablets from on high, the tables. This is Luach, and this is Luach, and together they are Luchot. There's 2 of them, Luchot. Luchot is the plural of Luach, which is a tablet, a table, a board. Brit is covenant, so Luchot HaBrit are the tablets of the covenant, and Shnei means 2. The 2 tablets of the covenant. This is what we normally call them, Shnei Luchot HaBrit. We could also call them, well, we'll get to it in a second. They were probably not written like what we read them like. They were not written like this in these letters, because they were a long time ago. Normally we abbreviate them like this, where we say Anochi, and the Hey means Hashem, means Ani Anochi Adonai. Lo yiyeh lecha Elohim acherim. Lo tisa, you shall not take of the name of the Lord your God in vain. Zachor et Yom HaShabbat, remember the day of the Sabbath. Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, honor your father and mother. Lo tirtzach, you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, steal, you shall not give false witness against your neighbor. Lo ta'aneh ed shakel, ve'lo tachmod beit re'echa, whatever, you shall not covet. They're abbreviated this way whenever they appear in Jewish art. Okay, they're just first two words of each verse to remind you of the commandments. These, you can see here, are actually written in a different script. Okay, this is the Paleo-Hebrew script, or the Canaanite writing system. If we were to take all of the 10 commandments, this is Exodus 20, verses 1 through 13. This is all in an older font. This is the font that looks like the Mesha Stele, but this is basically what Hebrew writing looked like 1000 BC, 500 BC even. This is a Hebrew inscription from Jerusalem. It's called the Siloam tunnel inscription, the Hezekiah tunnel inscription by the Siloam pool in Jerusalem. You can see that the letters here are very different from what we're used to. This is what Hebrew looked like 500 BC. And this is the Mesha Stele. All of this text here is also written in the same type of letters. These are the letters of the Mesha Stele. If you knew what the letter shapes were, you could read this, because this is written in Moabite. But Moabite is a Canaanite language, and Hebrew is a Canaanite language. They look identical for all intents and purposes. So, for example, if we just pick a word out of here, this is Aleph, Bet, Yod. It means Avi, my father, or the father of someone. This is Melech, it means king. Avi, Melech, my father was king. Okay? Avi, Melech, Al, upon Moab. This is the word Moab. So if you know the letters, if you knew these letters, then you could read Canaanite, you could read Moabite, you could read whatever Canaanite language, because all of the Canaanite languages were essentially the same. Hebrew was not a specially written language. It was written just like every other Canaanite language. The letters that we read are from Aramaic. When I finished my second course of Hebrew, my second year of Hebrew in college, we could read these letters because we studied and translated this text, the Mesha Stele, and we also studied and translated the tunnel inscription. It was part of our Hebrew studies. Obviously, we've just finished the first year. We haven't finished second year, so I'm not going to throw that on you. But I just wanted to throw it at you so you would see what it looked like.
Interesting, yeah. So the words are pretty much the same words?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they're basically the same language. The Hebrew language is called the language of Canaan in the Bible. Like they call it Sfat Canaan, the language of Canaan. And that kind of demystifies it. That takes it out of this idea that Hebrew was the language of the Garden of Eden, and it's a mystical God language. No, it's a language of its time.
It used to do for Koine Greek.
Yeah, Hebrew is a language of its time, and all the peoples, when Abraham moved from Ur of the Chaldeans, if this is true, and he moved to the Levant, he moved to Canaan, he learned the Hebrew language in Canaan because it's a Canaanite language. It's not a language from outside. But, anyway, and I think that looking at the texts and the inscriptions that we have actually proves that very well. Any questions over anything that we went over to close up the 10 Commandments? It's kind of
Oh, no, I think I'm good.
because the 10 Commandments are going to be on the exam. Like I'm going to pull it and say, okay, parse these verbs and translate the passage, basically. All right. Good. All right. So then Thursday we will do review. We'll pull basically the verbs from the passages and go over them and try to get them into your head for parsing, for figuring them out. Go over whatever vocabulary is lacking, and be on our way to the test.
So the test is going to be pretty much over the 10 Commandments?
It's going to be the 10 Commandments, Deuteronomy 6, 5 through 9, and Genesis 1, 1 through 5. And I'm going to pull what I can from it for verb parsing, for covering the grammar, everything that we've done until this point, from those passages, though.
Good.
All right. So we'll see you on Thursday for review.
Great. See you. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.